with it. Getting jiggy with it.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Gettin Jiggly with it. Of course it is Thursday, so Theme Deck Thursday, and with the Sword and Shield release, as you can see, we are going to be opening up theme decks. So to prevent the little 5 or 10 second delay with the black screen, I just figured I'll just start with the small camera. You guys don't need to see me real big, right? That's not required. If I sound a little bit different, I'm probably coming down with a small cold, so I apologize if there's any throat clearing or small coughs during. I'm currently medicated up, so we'll see how this goes. But I do want to go over each of the decks with a little bit of an overview, like we did with the Cosmic Eclipse. Of course, unfortunately, with the Cosmic Eclipse, I was a little bit delayed in getting that done due to both travel and issues with the video production, but it is on the YouTube channel for those of you that might still want to play those decks. So Sword and Shield, we did get 3 decks featuring each of the starters. So they do this with each new generation. So with XY, they had the 3 starters. Sun and Moon, they had the 3 starters. And then, of course, now with Sword and Shield, we have our 3 starter decks. Normally, of course, you only get 2 decks. Now, they didn't do anything really special. As you can see, this one's just called the Rillaboom deck. This one's called the Cinderace deck. And this one is called the Inteleon deck. So we'll move 2 of these guys off to the side, and we'll get into these. Now, the code cards, of course, I do not give away the code cards for the theme decks because we do play the decks. So depending how I feel after the opening, I may try to get a game of each in for you guys. So let me go ahead and pull this open off camera. We'll go through the first deck as we usually do, showing all of the contents for those of you that have never seen a theme deck and don't know what come in them. So a brief, I guess, overview of a theme deck. So you have a couple different decks that you can buy for playing Pokemon. The first one, of course, is the kind of a versus. They come out with these little small decks, like versus decks, and they're kind of used just for training. So if you're a kid or a young person and you just want to learn, they're smaller decks. They're about 30 cards in each deck. So total, they make 60 cards. You could combine them both together and make a single theme deck that is playable. But that is the first deck. The second deck, of course, are these theme decks. So they come with everything you need to kind of start. It is basic. A lot of it is paper items. But, of course, you've seen the Elite Trainer box. That's kind of like your upgrade of these little items that you get. And then the third type of deck is the Battle Arena decks, and they're a little bit newer. They haven't been around as long. I did open up a Rayquaza and a Ultra Necrozma deck, and we did do some gameplay with that. Those decks are slightly more competitive. They have the GX cards in them. These won't have GX, or in the case of Sword and Shield, V. And then they have more, I guess I should say, strategy building. And when you play them on TCG Online, they can only be played in the normal meta. They can't be played in the theme deck meta, as it would be, because theme deck is actually only a standard within the TCGO. With that said, let's go ahead and go through it. So this is something new. I've not seen this in one of the theme decks before. It is actually a sealed, actually it's got a couple cards, so let's go ahead and open this up. I've never seen this before, so this is something new with Sword and Shield. And I apologize, I've got the scissors right up there, and for whatever reason I didn't grab them, so we're making the crackly noise. If you've seen my last couple videos, I've tried to remove that. So it kind of goes through what you can do during your turn. So this is normally on the playmat. The back of the card is what are special conditions, so they go over all the different special conditions. Special conditions of sleep and paralyzed, so this is a key thing. A lot of people forget which way the cards are supposed to be turned for those conditions, so it kind of shows you which way is which. Your burn counter, and of course this is showing the new burn counter. If you check out my Elite Trainer box opening, you'll see, of course, we do get these new nice burn counters. Confused is upside down, so this is a confused Wooloo, he is upside down. And then, of course, the poison condition, same thing, is showing the new poison counter. And if you'd like to see the real version of that, check out the ETB box, which I had those opened up in there. So you always get a coin for your deck. So here is your Sabo coin. As I discussed, dice are much better, much quicker, and in my opinion, more accurate. I believe this is going to hold some weight. So when you flip it, unless they've done a really good job with this, I still have an odd feeling it's 9 times out of 10 going to be tails, and I think we've all seen that. The next thing you get is a deck overview. So these will be different for each deck. Usually the front and back sometimes are the opposites of the two decks, but in these cases it is going to be for each one. It gives you an overview of how you should kind of play the deck, which is what we're going to go over today as we open the decks. And then the back does have the full card list with the different variations that you can get, whether it is a normal or a hollow. There you go on the bottom. So standard is a black box. Standard set foil is a red box. Parallel set is a blue box. Parallel set. I've never heard that term, so I'm actually confused what they mean by parallel set. Does that mean, is that the reverse hollow maybe? If you guys know what it means by parallel set, I've just never heard that term before. Let me know in the comments, because I've never heard of that before. So that gives you your overview there. You get a quick start rules. So this is, I'm trying to think if I've seen these in previous boxes. Oh, neat. It's got from the actual game and the professor. So it gives you all of the rules of how to play the Pokemon TCG. I do have some learning to play videos. I did one with Audrey and her sister, and I did another one with my niece. Again, those will be on the YouTube channel. Your damage counters. So they didn't go any higher this time. So they kept it down to the damage counters that were, which is 100, unlike the dice, which they took all the way up to 180. Now, the one thing I noticed is there are no burn or poison markers on this sheet. They did change it. They are shiny. I mean, that's nice. The old markers were just kind of yellow, orange, and red, so they are shiny. But I'm curious why they didn't put the condition markers. And it may be possible because none of these theme decks have conditions. And I don't know if future decks will have conditions or not. And then you do get a play mat. Now, I don't know how they're doing that this time because of the 3 different decks. So the back of the playmat is, okay, so the back of the playmat shows all 3. That's actually beautiful. You could use this just as wall art. So it shows all 3. And then unlike previous decks, it is only a single one. So it's only the one Pokemon for the deck. So that's actually kind of neat. Previous ones, they've combined all 3 onto a double playmat, one for you, one for your competitor, into a single paper playmat. So you have your discard, your deck. This is, oh, that's neat. So this is new. So it shows the name, the hit points, attack, active Pokemon. So they've added a lot to this to kind of give you an overview of how this works. So that is actually really cool. So we might look at those in each of the other ones just so you guys can see the different art. All right, so the last thing, of course, is the deck. So you do get this nice deck box to put it in. The one thing I'm still disappointed about the deck boxes is once you put them in sleeves, this box is useless because they will not fit back into this box with sleeves. So maybe future, and you know, I have no pull with the Pokemon Company, of course. Maybe somebody a little bit bigger does. But I would think a nice thing they could do with a theme deck is make it almost like a booster box or elite trainer box in a sense. And instead of coming in these boxes, have it come inside of an actual storage box and come with sleeves and make it so it can all fit. I mean, I don't think a box any bigger than your build and battle boxes would really be that bad of a thing. It'd still sit on the shelf. You could still get all of your items. And that way you get to keep these cool boxes. But for me, once I put them in sleeves, they're not very good. So let's go ahead and get into the Inteleon box first. So of course it is a water deck. So we do have our water energies. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I forgot they mix them throughout. We have Krabby. We have Hop for a trainer. We have Drizzle, Professor's Research, a Chewtile, Mantine, Great Ball, another Sobble, 2 more energies, Drednaw, Kingler, a switch, more energy, a couple more trainer cards, a Cramorant, Drizzle, Ordinary Rod, Chewtle, or Chewtile as I call him, for trainers, Sobble, Krabby, we get us a Pokekid and a Pokegear, Team, your Pokemon catcher, switch, and an energy switch, and another Professor, Great Ball, a Cramorant, Hop, Sobble and Krabby, Chewtle, Drednaw, more energy, Kingler, and our Inteleon. So, for some reason, I felt like we only got one Inteleon. I'm missing an Inteleon. Oh, hold on, guys. I remember where he is. I left him up in the piece of plastic. There we go. So here you go. So this is the promo card. So these are still promo cards, even though they don't have the Black Star promo. And the reason is the only way you can get this card in a holographic is by buying it inside of the theme deck. Of course, the regular card that you would get is this one here. So you get one holo, one regular of Inteleon. So we'll quickly go through the trainers and kind of go through how you would use them. Hop is pretty self-explanatory. It is just a draw 3 card, always good for draw support. Professor's Research is discard your hand and draw 7 cards. So again, very good because you're getting to draw 7 cards. But not as good as Cynthia, to be honest. And the reason is you have to be very careful with Professor's Research because you're going to be milling through your deck. And from what I've seen, it's very easy to deck out with all 3 of these decks. Now, some of the Pokemon have abilities to pull from the discard pile. So based on deck build, it could be good or bad to be discarding them this way. You have your Great Ball, so you look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand and shuffle it back into the deck. And shuffle the other cards back in your deck. So that is a Pokemon draw card. Switch, good card in every deck to switch in and out of the active. So a energy switch of a move. Normally this is in a deck because somebody's going to have a draw ability for energy that will be putting it onto a Pokemon that you might not necessarily want to put into the active. So you'll be able to draw the energy onto that and then switch it to the Pokemon you do want in the active. So another Hop. So Pokemon Catcher, you flip a coin. If you do, you switch their bench Pokemon with their active. If you guys notice, I am looking forward right now. I've actually got the TV one, so I'm actually able to see the cards up there. I don't know if you guys like that better because I'm facing the camera and looking at you guys versus down as much. Let me know in the comments, if this is a better presentation, as it would be. So search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Mandatory in almost any deck now. So you do have 2 of those. Pokegear 3.0. So this is another one of those. Look at the top 7, reveal a supporter, and then put it into your hand. So you get those supporters you need. Another Professor, Great Ball. So Ordinary Rod, this is a way to save yourself when you are using that Professor's Research and getting lower on the cards. It does allow you to put either 2 Pokemon or 2 energy or both back into your deck. So that way, if you've been milling out with the Professor's Research, save this till a little bit later in the game and it allows you to put those cards back in. There's only one of these in the deck, so it's very important you kind of know when and if you're going to use that. So we got another Pokemon Catcher, another Great Ball, another Hop, Switch, Great Ball, Research, another Hop, and so that is it for our trainers. So the next thing is our Pokemon. So let's go ahead and get our evolution lines. So we only need 1 Inteleon, 1 of them, 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 and I think we got 1 of everybody, right? So we have the gang is all here. So let's get these moved to the side. So let's go ahead and start with our, we'll just start with Krabby, right? We'll just start with Krabby. Krabby's a good way to start. So Krabby has 80 hit points. His ability is Super Slice. which does 120 damage with 2 energy. So that's not bad. But of course, there's always going to be a drawback, and that, of course, is that you have to flip 2 coins. This is one of the new Pokemon with the Electric type 4 weakness now, which is the Water weakness instead of Grass, and then a retreat cost of 2. His evolution is, of course, Kingler. So with Kingler, you go from 80 to 130 hit points. Heavy Pinchers does 40 damage, and you discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So very good to disrupt their play. This deck, of course, we do not have anything that lets us look at those top cards, but I have seen cards, and we saw it in some of the openings. It says, look at the top 3 cards, put them back in any order you want. Do that, bring out your Heavy Pincer, get rid of that card that you know they're going to need. Claw Rend, 90 plus, so 3 energy, so that's kind of a lot for what you're seeing is 90. However, it says if your opponent's active Pokemon already has damage counters on it, it does 60 more damage. And we keep our retreat cost at 2. This is going to come into play because some of the other cards are going to do bench damage. So you're going to be able to do damage to the bench Pokemon, use that catcher to bring them out, bring Kingler out, and now he's going to be able to do a total of 150 damage. So we'll go to the next one. We'll just go to Mantine here. So Mantine has 110 hit points. What a reserve. So it allows you to search your deck for up to 3 energy cards, reveal them, and put them in your hand. There we go. This is a key first turn card. You want Mantine out. You want to get those energies into your hand so then you can start powering up your other Pokemon, your attackers and whatnot. Splash only does 60 damage. He has a retreat cost of 1, which is real nice. You get him out there, you get your energies, and then you retreat him for the 1 energy that is already on him. Because he is beefy, he's not going to necessarily go down in 1 hit at the beginning of the game. Later on, of course, you get some B cards or an EX or a GX if you're playing an expanded or the standard that includes GX. He's going to go down, of course. So the next is Cramorant. So Cramorant, 110 hit points. So again, a pretty beefy little guy. Water Arrow. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So this is where I said, for 1 energy, you get Cramorant out there. You peg away at the bench, and by pegging away at the bench, you're able to then put damage. So now when Kingler comes out, you can then do that additional damage to them. So you can do that 150 damage. Water Gun is only 50 for 2, and retreat cost of 1. So same thing. His main purpose, sorry for hitting the stand there, you guys. His main purpose, of course, is to get out, do some sniping on the bench, and then retreat away so you can bring one of your heavy hitters in. Now, for your attackers, Kingler is an attacker, but he's not what I would consider in this deck to be the main attacker. The main attacker, of course, is going to be your Inteleon line and your Drednaw line. And honestly, your Drednaw, I feel, is your better attacker. Even though this is Inteleon's deck, I feel like Drednaw is a better attacker. So let's go through our Inteleon line first. So first we start with Sobble, 70 HP. That's a little bit beefy for a basic. Most of the time your basics are only about 50, 60 HP. So he's got an extra 10 HP there. And that may be part of the HP creep. I'll have to look because I can't remember if some of those other basics that have come out are still in that 50 range. Pound only does 10. Water Gun only does 20. And his retreat cost of 1. You are usually never going to put a Sobble out first unless it happens to be the only basic Pokemon you pull at the beginning of the game. So his evolution is Drizzle. So let's do like we did here so we can see the difference. So with Drizzle, you go up to 90 hit points. Rain Splash does 30 for 1 energy. Wave Splash does 40 for 2 energy. Again, nothing to write home about. Not the reason why you have him in here. You just need him to get to Inteleon. So with your Inteleon, what you're looking at here is your Silent Shot. So with Silent Shot, you discard a random card from your opponent's hand, right? So you basically, again, you're getting rid of their cards that they need. So if you have a Pokemon, and there are Pokemon that allow you to look at their hand, I believe, what is it? It's a fairy Pokemon. It's the puppy dog. For the life of me, cannot think of the name. Guys, I'm horrible with names. You guys know I'm horrible with names. Um, but, but he does have that ability to let you look at their hand, and then now you can go in here and choose which card in their hand you want them to get rid of. There's other ones that say if they have a supporter in their hand, you get to do extra damage and so forth. So all of those are very useful with this ability. Hydro Snipe, though, that is his main attack. So you're looking at 2 energy for Hydro Snipe. It does 100 damage, and you may put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon back into their hand. So the benefit of this is if they're trying to boost something up, and they're bringing it out and it's not quite ready, or it is ready and it has enough to be able to take you out. So think of those cards like Rayquaza, where the number of energy allows it to do more damage. This allows you to take some of that energy off. I get that you're taking it off the active Pokemon and it's putting it back in their hand, but really on the next turn they can put it right back on the active Pokemon. So I'm kind of not sure how to play that right now. I'm not sure how impactful that would be. And in some cases, I feel like it could be a hindrance to you because say you knock that Pokemon out, you are putting an energy back into their hand. But it says you may. So it's not required, but it says you may. I just don't see how that would be helpful because he'd be able to put it out the next turn, or if you knock out the Pokemon, now he has that extra energy to power somebody else up. But we'll see when we play the deck how that plays out. And then this is who I would consider to be the main attacker in this deck. So you have Chewtle, or as I call him, Chewtile, 80 HP, Bite for 30 for 2, and Water Gun for 50 for 3. Very costly, not who you're going to want to bring out, similar to Sobble. You don't bring him out first. High retreat cost of 2. But his evolved form, here we go. So we have Drednaw. So Drednaw has 130. So not as beefy as that Inteleon, which had 160. However, Vice Bite. So 3 energy does 60 plus. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy on your opponent's active Pokemon. So very, very good because it can add up very, very quickly. You get somebody like this, which requires 4 energy. So now you're going to do 120 plus 60. You're doing 180 damage. That will take out most normal Pokemon in the game. It will take out some GXs even. Won't take out many of the VMAXs. And I can't remember the starting for all of the Vs. I know some are in the mid 100s. The next, of course, is Lockjaw, which does 130 damage, which means that the defending Pokemon cannot retreat during the next turn. However, they can still use a switch or something that allows them to bring it back. They just cannot retreat using their retreat cost. So very good for sticking something in the active so you can knock it out on your next turn. So this is who I feel in this deck would be considered the main attacker of the deck, would be the Drednaw. So let's go ahead and get this one put back in its box. And go ahead and get our Sobble coin right up here. We'll just put it in the corner up there, guys. And we'll get into the next one. So we'll get into Rillaboom next. So we'll go ahead and get this opened up for you guys and pull out the deck. For those of you watching on Mixer, of course, my little announcement did go out. I did start putting some automated announcements for the Extra Life, which we are supporting. If you see the little bar, we are at $1 of $100. And honestly, we're not even at $1. It's just the thing made me put $1 for starting. It wouldn't let me do 0. So if you guys want to help kids with Children's Miracle Network, click the link in the show notes or click the link that I have on Mixer to donate to Extra Life for kids and help those kids at Children's Miracle Network get the medical support that they need. Of course, in November, we will be doing our 25-hour stream. They call it a 24-hour stream, but it's 25 hours. It actually takes 25 hours because it's on daylight savings time. But if you want to learn more, like I said, click that link to learn more about Extra Life. So the first thing we get, of course, is our Grookey coin. So same as Sobble, you get your coin. You get your little thing that kind of goes over how to play this deck. And of course, we're just going to go over card by card, and it shows some of the Pokemon that we are going to get. And then we want to look at our playmat because it is slightly different, just so we have an idea of what the Rillaboom playmat looks like. So this actually really nice looking, nice green on this one. So there we go. So big old Rillaboom right in the middle. So really nice looking playmat. And you could actually probably take these, if you don't want to get a high-end playmat, you can take these to somewhere like the UPS store, and they do lamination. So that's an idea for somebody who wants to save a little bit of money, and if you really like these, and I'm having trouble trying to get that folded up, so I'll figure that out later. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, just kind of coming under the weather. I'm honestly amazed I've lasted this long. But let's go ahead and get into this second deck here. So here's the deck box. So it is that image that is on the playmat. So again, I really like these deck boxes. I just wish you could put them in with the actual cards. So we got some energy, and a cottony. So I'm going to look for the trainer cards that are different, because I think most of them are going to be the same. Hop, some energy, Rookie, Wacky, Maractus, Pokemon Center Lady, Potion, Great Ball. So a Hop, the Great Ball. Hey, Great Ball, stay in your pile. Professor Research, so it's Wacky. Ordinary Rod, so again, only one Ordinary Rod. Snorlax. Already got us a Cottony, and I think on our pile over here, so Potion. So some more energy. We have Hop, another Thwackey, another Grookey, Whimsicott. Yes, I have a Whimsicott down there for you guys. Eldegoss. Yeah, she's down there. Hop, Snorlax. We have another Snorlax in there, another Cottony. Great Ball. We got our Maractus, our Gossifleur, and the regular Rillaboom. So there is a deck, and Rillaboom is very, very popular in rotation. It is not the Rillaboom in this deck. It is the Rillaboom that has the ability, and it basically allows you to search out your energy cards. It is a staple in any grass deck right now. So the first different card that we get in this deck is Potion, which allows you to heal 30 damage. Very good card. Could always use a heal. I'm wondering how much longer we're going to be able to keep it at 30 though, because there are not many moves that do 30 damage anymore that you would be playing actively. And then the other one is another heal, which is Pokemon Center Lady, which heals 60 damage from one of your Pokemon, and it removes any special conditions. I do find it odd when one theme deck has healing and the other one doesn't. The Cosmic Eclipse decks were very similar. They had healing in some, but not the others. So let's get our evolution lines all set up here, guys, and we can go through the cards. So we'll go ahead and start with our Cottony. So it is the Cottony with the Swarm, which we have opened plenty of these. 60 HP, not a lot. Attach for 10, and it's really weird why it's called attach, because you're not attaching anything. Maybe you're attaching with the other guys. I don't know, guys. Weakness to fire, so of course this would be weak to the Cinderace deck. Retreat cost of 1, so not a very high retreat cost. And then of course it evolves into Whimsicott, and this is the card we want in the deck. So it's 100 HP. It has what's called Active Ride, or Cotton Ride. It's active from the previous. You flip a coin, it heads, your opponent shuffles their active Pokemon and all attached cards back into their deck. So it doesn't count as a knockout, but it does get them off their game. It resets what they're doing. So if they just spent 5 turns getting a Pokemon powered up with the amount of energy it needed and then finally bringing it out to the active, and you get that heads, well, there went all that time wasted. Now you have the upper hand because most likely their bench Pokemon won't be set up yet. Leaf Step, only 50 damage, so not a high damage, and a retreat of 1. So this, again, is one of those ones where it is situational. You bring it out, you do your Cotton Ride, and then you bring it back as soon as you're done. You get rid of that energy after it has done its job. All right. So the next one is, we'll go after Maractus here. So Maractus is 110 HP. Ability for 1 energy does Zzzt, which does 20 damage. And then, of course, for 2 energy, it does 60 damage times. So it's flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon. It does 60 damage for each heads. So this is one of those where you will just start piling energy on. The only disadvantage, unlike other cards in the past, like Sceptile and Rayquaza, is it is based on a coin flip. But that can add up quickly. You put 4 energies on this Pokemon, it can do 240 damage like that if you get 4 heads. You get 3 heads, still that's a lot. That's 180 damage that it can put out. So very good card. Retreat cost of 2, so you would get rid of everything to bring it back, but most likely you're already going to have maybe 4, maybe 5 energies on this. So retreat cost of 2 really isn't that bad. So our next support card is our Gossifleur. So Gossifleur, 50 HP, so it is 1. Okay, so they do have some that are down in the 50s still. Call for Family. Again, first turn Pokemon, you want this card. Search for 3 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench, and then shuffle your deck. Razor Leaf 10, not useful. You're not going to be doing Razor Leaf. And a retreat cost of 1. When it evolves into Eldegoss, so Eldegoss, you go up to 80 HP. Blessing of Fluff. So you search your deck for up to 3 Leaf energy cards, attach them to your bench Pokemon any way you want, shuffle your deck, and then Leafage for 30. So basically, get Gossifleur out there on your first turn, search for the Pokemon, and then hopefully your opponent has not had the ability to attack yet, get it evolved, and get your energy now onto those bench Pokemon that you just pulled. Very good 1-2 combo. Definitely want to try to get that as you're active as soon as possible. And again, I apologize, guys, for the throat. If you watch yesterday's video, you could kind of tell something was going on because I was having the same issues yesterday, and I was like, why is my throat so bad? And now I kind of know why. Feeling a little under the weather. So tomorrow, I want to open those blister packs. But if I can't talk tomorrow, then I may not open those blister packs and may just hold them off for next week. I don't know if I would do the coloring because I don't have to talk when I do the coloring. So if I'm on tomorrow at 9, come join me. If I'm not on tomorrow at 9, hopefully I'll be on the weekends and I'm feeling better. But time will tell. So our next is Snorlax. He is 150 HP. Right. So his ability is Rolling Tackle. So it costs 3 energy to do 80 damage. That's kind of high. And then you have Heavy Impact for 4 for 130 damage. And he has a very high retreat cost. His retreat cost is, oh, apologize for that. I didn't realize I was out of focus. Trying to move the door. But the retreat cost is 4 to get him to retreat. Snorlax is big boy. He's meant to just kind of go out there and tank it for a while before you can get somebody else out, or to use him as a defense against a fire deck. So when you go up against Cinderace, this is really the only Pokemon you can use in the entire deck that we've got, because everybody else is going to have a weakness to fire. So you get your Snorlaxes out, use your Eldegoss and them to get the energy thrown on him, and then he's the only one you're really going to be playing with. So again, when we test this out in TCGO, we will see how that works out. I hope we do go up against a couple fire decks so we can kind of see if we can get that gameplay to work for us. We've not had good luck sometimes going against our weakness decks. And then, of course, our star of our show is my favorite of yours, for Grookey, of the Grookey gang, 70 HP. So again, these new starters are a little bit hefty. Scratch for 10, beat for 20. Again, we're not bringing him out to attack. That's not his job. Retreat cost of 1. So if you did have to put him out, he's very easy to bring back. So the next is his Evolution, which is Thwackey. So Thwackey has 100 HP, so good jump in HP. Beat 30 damage for 2 energy. Ambush 50 plus for 3 energy. So it's 50 plus, and if heads, it does 30 more. So it actually can do up to 80 damage. His retreat cost did increase to a 2. Not bad. I mean, it's better than the one we saw in the Inteleon, but again, you are limited to luck of can you get that heads. And then our Rillaboom is our last guy. Got these in the G wrong order. There we go, like we did last time. For 70. My OCD doesn't allow that to be like that. So Rillaboom, big jump up to 190, so really beefy guy, so he even outdoes our Snorlax. For 3 energy, he has Drum Roll, so 90 damage. This attack also does 10 damage to each of your opponent's finished Pokemon. Honestly, if I could have him along with that Kingler, man, that'd be a beautiful thing. And then his Drum Beat does 180, and during your next turn, the Pokemon can't use Drum Beating. So that's because of its high damage. 180 would take out most Pokemon in Theme Deck format, so it is a lot. His retreat cost goes all the way up to 4. And I think they did that because they saw what people were doing with the retreat switch mechanism. So they always add a high retreat to these guys. So you would need to save your switch to bring him out, bring out another Pokemon with a lower retreat cost, use that retreat to bring him then back out, and then you'd be able to use Drum Beating on that next turn. Similar to what we saw with the Towering Heights deck with Garchomp and Brain, go away. I've completely lost the word, but the Towering Heights deck, you know, same principle there. So that is the Rillaboom deck. So that is our second of 3 decks. So let's go ahead and get him back inside the box. And then I'm hoping, and of course not hoping, but I will be playing these decks live. I don't know when, of course. It is reliant on having a partner to play with. So we can do more of a versus between just these decks. Audrey, of course, does come up, or the plan is to come up at the end of March, so coming into April. I will be heading down that way to Georgia with my rest of my family, so maybe we'll play it in that time frame, or maybe my niece might come up. She lives down towards Baltimore, and she likes to play Pokemon, so maybe she'll come up one time and we can play. But just subscribe to the channel, that way you guys know when these types of videos go up. If you want to learn more about the TCG and how to play, then definitely follow my channel. I don't want to do just pack openings. I actually want to play the game, learn how to play the game, besides just collecting the cards. So here is our Score Bunny coin. So he's more of an orange color. He's not quite red. So that's actually kind of a nice looking little coin there. We'll put him up there. And then we got our deck box. And of course we need to get our hollow out of our box. All right. Again, apologize. Take another drink. All right. So same thing. You get your little sheet that talks about the deck, and you do get a preview of the cards that are in there. So of course we are going to go over this the same as we've done the last 2 decks and kind of do some strategy. So you get your Ninetales and some Drampa in there. Throw you up there. And then the playmat. So we'll see the difference of this playmat. I probably won't be able to fold it back together, so I'll probably just stop trying. Figure it out later. All right, so here is the Cinderace playmat. So he's kicking his fireball there. It's a nice looking playmat. So sparks in the background. So I do like that playmat. Again, I have mats. Of course, you can see the one we're on now, which is the one from the Tag Generations box. But if you don't, you know, so good to get a new pack to learn when you're just starting out how to play. So same as last time, we will only go over the new cards that we have not seen, for trainers and so forth. So our Boot, our Score Bunny, Looking Kid we've seen, our Professor. So Bead is new. And we have our Ninetales. Oops, get back over here, Ninetales. And our Vulpix. Done the Wooloo. Done the Drampa. Bead. One Catcher. Another Score Bunny. And Sudowoodo. Hop. Another Professor. Another Vulpix. The Loot. Double we've already got down there. And I think we might have one of every card now. Let's see. Rookie Gear. We've gone over that. Great Ball. Another Wooloo. Fire, 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 fire. Lots of fire. All right. So here it is. So the only new trainer card we get in this is Bidet or Bead. You say tomato, I say tomato. It's weird. I didn't say that when I said Chewtao and Choodle because I usually do that. See, I'm not even thinking straight, guys. I was wondering why my last couple streams I'm kind of absent-minded, but that's probably part of it. So he basically allows you to attach a basic energy card from your hand to one of your benched Pokemon. So this allows you to do 2 energy placements in a single round. So very nice card, very useful card. With the new rule of not being able to play a supporter on the first turn, Cinderace is definitely a go second deck. You can tell just because of the bead card himself, that is how it is meant to be played. So we'll go ahead and get our teams all kind of sorted out here, guys. And we'll start with the oddball out, the one fighting Pokemon in the deck. Now, the reason he's in here, of course, is he's fighting, but for whatever reason, they did not make him fighting energy, which I never understand when they do this. It's kind of confusing to me, but luckily it does give you some little bit of defense to weaknesses if you're playing against decks that are, say, example, the water deck. Of course, you would have a backup Pokemon. Now, here's the only problem. Only 100 HP, so not a lot. This is why you have him, though, is for that draw support. It allows you to keep drawing cards, draw 2 cards. Flail, again, is only 1 energy, and it's 10 times the damage for the number of damage counters on this Pokemon. So he would be a good one. He's going to ramp up as he's out there drawing cards for you. So it is a good Pokemon in that sense. If somebody does 80 damage to you, then that means you're going to be able to do basically 80 damage back to them. And a retreat cost of 1 means he is not too hard to bring back because, of course, his normal moveset is 1. So next we have Drampa. So Drampa, beautiful art there. I like that Drampa art. 130 HP, so it gets a little beefier. Dragon Pulse does 80 for 2 energy. And then you discard the top 2 cards of your deck. So how I said that you go through cards very quickly in the Sword and Shield era, this is why. There's so many discard cards in these decks. He does have a retreat cost of 2, but we do have ways to get those discarded cards back, so you may want to actually use that ability. Then we have Hops Wooloo, and it is the nice one. I do like this one. It is the one with the flowers. I like that art. So 70 HP. So again, normal for most of our basics we've seen, except for the one that was 50 in the Rillaboom deck. Tackle only does 10. Headbutt only does 50, and it takes 3 energy. So if you ever have to bring him out as an attacker, you've done something wrong. Retreat cost of 1, of course, a weakness to fighting. But Double, on the other hand, goes all the way up to 130, so almost doubles his HP. So Cotton Guard, 30 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage. So Double is your blocker in this deck. You throw him out there basically to soak up damage while you are trying to beef up the rest of your crew. So even if you haven't put all 3 energies, you've only got the 1, and you're in that dire situation, you put him out, you block, and he's going to kind of hold off for a little bit longer because of that ability. Double Edge, 3 energy, does 120, but it also does 30 damage to itself. So it's kind of like how it is in the game, in the actual video game, where you get that recoil damage, but 120 is a lot of damage. So you could do that several times before you can come close to knocking yourself out. So 4 times total before you would have to stop. And by that point, you've hopefully taken down a couple of your opponent's active Pokemon. So we'll keep, of course, our Cinderace for last. So Vulpix is next. So Vulpix is 70 hit points. Again, beautiful art. I like that art. I don't even know if I noticed that the first time because I'm usually looking at my phone. I didn't notice he's kind of on a cliff there. I don't know why his legs kind of up like that. I hope he's not trying to take a pee. But Flare is 20 damage. Of course, normal weakness to water since it is fire. Retreat of 1, so that's not bad. And then our Ninetales, and I think this will be a beautiful card as a holographic. Again, apologize guys, throat is really killing me. But this is all for you guys. It is all for you. All right. So Ninetales goes up to 120 for your HP, so not bad. It beeps it up a bit. Flame Cloak only costs 1 energy, does 30 damage, and you can attach a fire energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So now you see where that Drampa comes in. You basically get Drampa out there, have him discard some cards, get you some energy in your discard pile, or use your Professor, get some energy into your discard pile, and then you use your Flame Cloak to attach it to this Pokemon. And then you can do Fire Main 470, or use your energy switch to then switch it to our next contestant on The Price is Right. And he is only a retreat of 1. So that's his whole point. You get him out there, you attach the energy to him, and then use that switch to get it onto your Score Bunny crew. Or Team Score Bunny, right? So Team Score Bunny starts out with Score Bunny. So 70 HP. Tackle does 10. Flare does 20. It has, of course, the normal weakness to water and a retreat of 1. So again, you're not going to be using this basic Pokemon as your starting attacker. The low retreat cost means that if you have to get him back, it's not too costly to do that. So next is the evolution, which is Reboot. So Reboot goes up to 90, so same as the rest of the evolution lines that we've seen. Kick does 20, Heat Blast does 50 for 2 fire energy, retreat of 1, so very similar to both the Grookey line and the Sobble line. And then our last evolution and our main attacker for this deck is Cinderace. And Cinderace, there's a holographic. So you also notice this is a different holographic pattern. I don't know if I saw or noticed that or said anything about it. I don't think I did. But this is more a crystalline holographic pattern. So the holographic pattern that you get in the actual packs is that new horizontal line pattern. So that's another thing. When they do these holos in these packs, they actually sell for a different amount than the regular. They used to use what was called a cosmic pattern. So a lot of time when you want to look up the price of these, you look up for Cinderace number 36 cosmic. And then that's what these ones are usually classified as. With that said, so 170, so he does get a little beefy. Not as much, of course, as Rillaboom. Flame Cloak, 40, and you attach a fire energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So same as your Ninetales. Bright Flame, 3 energy, 160 damage. Flip a coin. If tails, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. That isn't a bad thing. You've got a 50-50, right? You could either keep all the energy on him, or you might lose it. If you lose it, you just kind of do this 2 more times, and you're back where you were. So very good. Retreat cost stays at 1. That's just crazy compared to the other 2 decks. And from what I've seen, the Cinderace is considered the current best deck out of these 3. I do not believe they compete with some of the existing theme decks, but they do play very different than those theme decks. So it makes for interesting gameplay. So what we're going to go ahead and do, I'm not feeling too bad yet. My throat's still got a little bit of life left in it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'll throw the Be Right Back, and then I will switch over to TCG Online, and we'll do one gameplay with each one of these. So I do have to redeem the code, so it may be about 5-10 minutes, but we will be right back. That's actually the first time I've seen that is with the the new animation there. Thanks there, Bluesy Duckling, for that follow there. Also, guys, I apologize. I just realized that I'm not using my regular microphone. I'm actually using the laptop mic. So if everything sounds kind of weird today, I apologize. But then again, I probably sound weird today. But with that said, I digress. Let me go ahead and throw it over to the Be Right Back, and let me go ahead and get the TCG Online started up, and we will play a couple games in that. So I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, so got ahead and gone those codes, got them redeemed, got them into the game, so we can go ahead and start up a deck overview or a deck play of each. So we'll play all three decks that we got. So, of course, we do have, there is our Rillaboom deck. I don't even know what order they put them in. You would think they put them in order of release. Okay, so there is our Inteleon deck. So actually, maybe it's by type? No, that doesn't make sense either. Alphabetical order? Yeah, Born, Bright, C, F, I. Yeah, okay, so it's an alphabetical. I never knew how they put these in order. So we have our Inteleon, we have our Rillaboom, and then, of course, our Cinderace starts with C, right? Cinderace, there we go. So we'll start at the beginning. So we'll go ahead and start with our Cinderace deck. So let's go ahead and get into a game. I did plug in the microphone, so let me know if it sounds a little bit better at this point. I hope it does. I am currently on a 1-win streak. I don't know how that happened. So we are playing against Sizzix, I guess. Sizzix is her name. And it looks like she's playing the new... Oh, this is not the first matchup we want. Would I like to go first? No. So we said with the Cinderace deck, we don't want to go first. But she is playing Inteleon. So we are going to have to go with... Yeah, we're going to have to... yeah, we're going to have to power up our Snorlax. I didn't think we were going to have a deck where we'd have to start with Snorlax. Do I want to get both of them? Now let's only do one. Let's go ahead and get our Score Bunny up. Yeah, I guess that's where we're going to be, guys. So, yeah. Also, if you guys can let me know if the actual game audio is too much. I had to reset all my HDMIs yesterday. If you saw my videos on YouTube, I did have some issues with my HDMI and had to reset that all. We want to do... So let's do... There's no point in doing our evolution line. There really isn't. So we'll go ahead and do Trampa. Not the guy we want to have as an attacker. And I kind of feel bad because this is our first gameplay with this deck, and I have this horrible, horrible feeling that we're going to probably lose. Worst possible matchup, right, guys? Worst possible matchup. Yes. We will tackle for 10. Yay! I mean, the only way we're going to win is if they can't get anything evolved. I got their Mantine. That's a good pull. So I guess this is good too, because now we're basically getting a 2-for-1 show, right? We're getting to see how the Inteleon deck plays and how the Cinderace deck plays. If we're lucky, they will all be like that. So who are you going to... All right, so they're going to try to bring out my Score Bunny, and they were unsuccessful. All right, so let's go ahead and Great Ball again. There we go. That's who we need. We need Sudowoodo, which... Yeah. Like I said, again, I don't know, guys. This is going to be rough. All right. So, Cotton Guard. So at least we can block that damage. If we win this whole game with a double, I'm going to be remarkably surprised. Hi, Badla, sweetie. You're being a good girl for Daddy. Hi. You can come lay down in your bed. It's okay. Bella's looking at me like I'm crazy, guys. Oh, she went to my bed instead of her bed. All right, so he went and got his Inteleon. All right. All right, so he's got his Drednaw powered up. And that is what I'm afraid of. But no energy. Wow. That is a horrible energy drought. I mean, that's...
That's not what you want. That's all we can do. Guys, I don't know if I want to count that as a win or not. So we'll go through. I'm going to do the other two decks. Yeah, I mean, we'll go through the other two decks. Oh, we got some more packs to open. So we do have some packs to open at the end of the stream. So if you're one that likes to see pack openings, I do have a couple reward packs that I do need to open. All right. So we got some more coins, which is good because we do need to buy us some EV theme decks for our Evolution week. Of course, we are on Sword and Shield week right now. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. Let's go to Inteleon, see how the Inteleon deck plays. I really wanted to get into that Cinderace, so I think we'll go back and maybe play it again, depending on time. I don't want this video to go too long, and we will do a full deck gameplay of each of these decks, probably starting next week. So let's say Tails. I can't remember with this deck. I can't remember if this is the first or second deck. We'll say no. I just because I can't remember. All right, so we are going up against that massive pain in the butt Charizard deck. I still have not bought that deck. I do need to buy that deck. So we can play that and do an overview of that. That is still considered one of the best decks in the theme deck meta. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So what's the Farfetch? Do I forget? All right. So collect, draw 2 cards, Tool Buster 20 plus, and then you can discard a tool card, and then it does 70 more damage if you can. Okay. Which we don't have any tool cards, so I don't think that will be a problem. Alright, so we don't want to do a professor's research. Let's go ahead and get our Chutile. Wow. Should we discard this hand? That is the question. I'd hate to get rid of one of my evolution, and this is the only ordinary rod you get. I think we're going to hold off. This has the call for family, which is very dangerous if they get that out. So we do want to get our sniping up, which does require us to have different Pokemon than we currently have. Yeah, we're gonna do what we can do. Man. Yeah. Search your deck for Pokemon that isn't GX or EX, reveal it. So that is a nasty, nasty ability. This deck, I don't know if they thought things out when they made this deck, that Charizard deck, but even compared to the other decks that came out at the same time, this is just so overpowered. If you go online and try to buy the decks from that era, the other deck is normal price, the normal 20-ish bucks, $15 to $20. You cannot get this Charizard deck for less than $50 to $80 depending where you look. It's just that crazy. Oh, no Sobbles. Oh, I hate to be loading up this one Pokemon, but it's all we got. We either need a Drednaw or we need our Sobble so we can start getting our Inteleon up. Or even our Krabby. Oh, man. Again, guys, I don't know if this will go too well. If all these games go real quick, then I may just call it after one of each, and then just do the full deck profiles over the next couple weeks. So again, if you want to see those full deck profiles where we do more games, then make sure that you click the follow button on Mixer if you'd like to watch live and chat with me, or click that subscribe and bell notification on YouTube so you know when I upload these. Yay, Charizard damaging itself, getting energy. Our only saving grace, if we can get some evolutions out, is we're playing into their weakness. And that's it. That is game. Hooray! Or ole! Yeah, that's crazy, crazy, crazy. We got no. I mean, maybe that was bad play on my part, guys. I mean, what would you guys have done? You know, leave me a comment. Should I have played the professor and just ignored the rod to try to get another basic? And as I think about it, you should always have a second basic, and I didn't. I probably should have on first turn. Probably should have used her. She is a new card. It's always scary to discard your entire hand. It's just something you got to get used to, I guess. So here we go. So because that is so quick, I think that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do each one of these. I'm going to do each deck one time. That was the initial plan anyways. Try to rest my throat. It's not necessarily getting worse, but it's definitely not getting any better. So let's go ahead and go with our Grookey. Of course, we are part of the Grookey gang. That is our main starter in our Sword and Shield. Oh, perfect. We want that Gossifleur first. And we do have our full evolution line. So I think we might do better with this than we have with the last two decks. I don't know how the matchmaking works. If you guys know a little bit better than I do, again, I'm kind of new at playing the TCG Online. So I don't know if because I had those multiple wins in a row, it tried to put me up against somebody else with multiple wins, regardless of the fact that the one person quit on me, you know? Don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. Here we go. Definitely what we want to do. So we do want... all right, so we want to get our Cottony out. Let's check our thing here. So we do have both Rillabooms. We have both Thwackies. So we do have our full evolution line. So we get two of those going if we had to. Do we want to do I don't want to do a second Gossifleur. Let's get a backup attacker with Maractus. And let's get our Snorlax in case we need a blocker. I think that'll be our best course of action right here. And now what we need to do is get our evolution so then we can go ahead and get that energy drawn. Oh, that's the other thing. Start not feeling good, your whole body just starts getting stiff. Hey, I'll go to the grocery store and get me some chicken soup. Chicken noodle soup. Alright, so let's go ahead and evolve. It's a great ball. Did we get our evolution? No, we did not. Alright, so... I guess we'll get the Thwacky. I don't know what else to do, guys. That is what we're going to do, though. All right, let's go ahead and start getting our Thwacky built up. All right, we're going to heal that damage off just so hopefully we can go another turn. That was a little bit overkill because it was 60. I guess we'll go ahead and start our second evolution line. So what does the coin flip do? Energy gift. Flip a coin head, search your deck for 2 energy cards attached to the Pokemon. Okay, so that's an energy search. So not sure why they did not. Alright. So now this is the perfect time. This is when you want to use the Professor. Get everything out of your hand. Get you a brand new setup. There we go. We needed that energy. So we've got that one. Our Rillaboom. We don't need the switch yet. Let's Great Ball. See if we can get our evolution up. There we go. We want the Eldegoss. That is what we're looking for, guys. Let's go ahead and get that up. And search your deck for 3 energy and attach them any way we want. That is what we want. Guys, look at that. We finally got some actual gameplay going on. So we need 4 on Rillaboom. So let's go ahead and get him all the way powered up. And let's... I don't know where I want to put my backup. Let's get... Yeah, let's... Well, the game is recommending that we go ahead and put it on Thwacky, so I guess that's what we'll do. So we've got our switch, so that's good. There's no way for them to take us out with the Swoobat. The Frou-Frou has 2 energy. Flip a coin of heads. It's paralyzed. Only does 20 damage. That won't take us out. Sharp Fang is only 50. That won't take us out. Moo 60. If you have any stage 2 Pokemon on the bench, it does 70 more damage. So if they can retreat. Escape Rope. I forgot it's an older deck. Well, that's fine. I wanted to bring Rillaboom out next time. You saved me from using my switch, buddy. Not the best of plays for you. Although, probably should have just put the Snorlax out. And probably should have just put the Snorlax out just for it. I only did 10 damage. Wow, what were you doing? If you have any stage 2 Pokemon on your bench, this does 70 more damage. Oh, you don't have any stage 2 Pokemon, I'm at a loss for words there, guys. I do not know what they were trying for. Should I use the Pokekid? Yeah, we'll get our other Rillaboom out. That works for me. So get our other Rillaboom. Get that Rillaboom up and evolved. So we're now ready to go. Alright, so drum roll. This attack does 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Or during your turn, we can't use drum beating again, but we have that switch. So I'm not really concerned about not being able to do it on the next turn. And that will take out the Miltank. Get us. So, because all we really need to do is switch out our Eldegoss again, and then we can attach the energy to our other Rillaboom. So, that is fine. We will go ahead and get our other Rillaboom up. When he does 90, so that'll knock out the Frou-Frou, so I'm not even worried about that. I'm going to just swap for the other Rillaboom. I don't even need to worry about that. So 90, knock that out, do an additional 10 to her bench. Very good, very good. Now, I do feel half bad, of course. This is the deck she's playing, and I knew she was going to give up. The deck she's playing is one of the initial starter decks, so it is one of the decks you get for the Trainer Challenge. I do have a video showing how to use the Trainer Challenge to get free packs of cards and free coins, so make sure you check that out on YouTube. We didn't finish either quest, but that is fine since we're going to be playing these decks for a little bit. Alright, so we go okay. So like I said, I do have some card packs to open, so we'll go ahead and open those up to end out this stream. What do we get inside of this treasure chest? Alright. Where's my... Oh, I guess we got to open our treasure chest. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what wonderful goodies we have to open to finish out this stream. So we go to packs. So we have, let's see what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 things to open. So we'll just start with XY Evolutions. See what we get in here. Zoop. So 2 new cards. And 2 Doug Trios. I guess, yeah, one's a reverse hollow. Alright, so let's open up our treasure chest of deliciousness goodies. What did we get? So we got 5 coins in Samson Oak. Draw 2 cards. If both active Pokemon are the same type, draw 2 more cards. Okay. I don't know what set that's from. Got a Sword and Shield pack here. And most of these should be new. I don't have many. I have not redeemed any Sword and Shield, so most of these should be new. There we go. This is saying new, even though it's in the deck because it's a reverse. Now that's one of the things with the theme decks is like if you get like some of the hollows and the reverses, you can't put them in the theme deck because I think the theme deck's not editable, so it breaks the theme deck. It's like, but I'd like to, if I get hollows, I'd like to use those instead. Oh, there we go. So we got us a new card here. So we got a card Tanana. That's a nice looking card there. All right, so 2 more to go, guys. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe, that thumbs like, that bell notification. You know how the YouTube works. I greatly appreciate it, you guys. We did hit our 100 follower mark, so I am probably in the process of revamping the branding across all social media. I just haven't decided if I want to do it yet because it's not going to be a very small name. The one that I have found that works across all social media is the full title, which is Gettin Jiggly with it. Everything else is taken. Any other variation of Gettin Jiggly or some variation that would be shorter has been taken, unless I can find some other way to do it. But stay on the lookout. I will let you guys know if that changes and when that changes, but it will make it easier for you guys to find my YouTube channel once I brand it. But with that said, guys, I appreciate you for coming out. I will try to be on tomorrow. I'm going to try to get some rest during the day. I've taken the day off from work already. But until next time, peace.